Hello everyone, this is Not From This World and welcome to my next tutorial. Today I want to talk a little bit about lighting, because lighting is an important aspect of your scene and it can get really complicated. You can purchase lighting packages and try and manipulate your scene that way. Some props come with lighting, especially landscape type props come with lighting. But I want to show you a really simple technique that will get some good lighting into your scene without taking very much time and not being very complicated. Now I have a scene set up here with my Milika character. She is my favorite character from Daz Studio, and if you follow me at all, you know that she is the one that I use for my avatars and some of my websites. So we're going to use her, but I want to show you when you first set up a scene, what you get are called auto headlights. And if you go to render settings, you can kind of see this. I'm going to click on all. And then if I just look down, it says auto headlamp. And the auto headlamp is set up, it says when no scene lights are available, basically. I can click on this, I can turn these headlamps off, or I can leave them on. I always leave them on, but what these are a light on your camera. So imagine that we have this camera set up and we can view our scene. The light is shining right from the camera. Now let's look at what this renders as when we have this kind of a setup. So I'm just going to run a simple render. Okay, so my computer is a little slow, at least this one that I'm using for this video. So I'm going to stop our render at 85%. That's okay. But you can see we have some lighting, but the lighting is all from the camera. So the character has some nice shine on her legs. You know, it's not a bad render. It just doesn't pop out and really show us what Daz Studio is capable of. So I'm going to drop that off the screen and let's add some lights. All right. Now, all I do to really set up most of my scenes is I'm going to add spotlights. And you can add spotlights right up here. There's a tab that says create a new spotlight. I'm going to create a new spotlight. And when I do that, I'm going to choose to create it so that it has the same position as the camera. So I'm going to click here where it says apply active viewport transforms camera. So I'm going to accept that. And now my camera light is turned off, because I have it set that the camera light will only work when there's no scene lights. Now I have a scene light. Now this spotlight here, when you select it in your scene tab, you're going to see that it has a couple of options. What you want to do is drop down the light option and then go to area. And the default is going to be a point light. I always change that to rectangle. That broadens out the spotlight, so it's not just a fixed point. It's going to be like a rectangular shape. You never see that, but I always render with rectangle spotlights. And then the second thing that we're going to look at is photometrics. And under photometrics, we have two choices. We have luminous flux, which is the brightness or the lumens. That is always set at 1500 lumens. And then we've got temperature in Kelvin. And that temperature in Kelvin is always defaulted at 6500. Now the first thing I'm going to show you is the brightness. Now if we leave our brightness at 1500 lumens, we are not going to get a good render. Let me show you really quick. Let's render this, and I'll show you how dark this is going to end up. Okay, so let's stop our render, and now let's compare the two. So you can see that our original one with the camera light, the headlamp light, and now I've got this one with just the one spotlight set at 1500 lumens. So I like the original one better, honestly. So let's set up a light so we can get some more dynamics here. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to my display tab, and I'm going to select my spotlight. So this is going to show me where my spotlight's located. And you know, I like this. This isn't a bad spot if you want some direct light. I think I'm going to raise it just a little bit and then orient it down towards her face. And I'm also going to come in here and I'm going to change this luminous flux. I'm going to go from 1500 all the way to 100,000 lumens. All right. Also, I'm going to add another light. So in my scene tab, I'm going to make sure my spotlight is selected. I'm going to come up here to edit, duplicate node hierarchies, and I've created an exact copy of that spotlight at 100,000 lumens. Now I'm going to select my second spotlight, and I'm going to move it kind of up and to the model's right. All right, and then I'm going to kind of orient it like that. I'm going to go back to my original spotlight. All right, and I'm going to create another spotlight by duplicating it. All right, so now I have my third spotlight, and I can take my original spotlight. Now I can move it, and I'm going to move it to my character's left, kind of like this. Okay, so now I have 3 spotlights. So if I go to my perspective camera, kind of zoom out, you can see now that I have 3 spotlights. I have one to the model's left, one to the model's right, and one kind of directly facing the model. Now if I go back to my camera, let's render this picture. All right, let's see what we can get. Okay, so we have this rendered enough. Let's check out the differences. So to go back, this is my original picture without any special lights. And now here is my 3 spotlight setup. So you can see we're getting some more dynamic shadows. We're getting some highlights, and it's looking a little bit more realistic. Okay, so now let's try and manipulate this a little bit to get a better render. So I have my Spotlight 2 selected. And Spotlight 2 is the one that's facing the girl. So I can move this around anywhere I want to, but let's kind of back it up just a little bit. And let's change its lumens. So let's make sure I have spotlight number 2 selected. Let's change these lumens. Let's go a little bold and let's do like 400,000 lumens. All right. And let's go back to our camera and let's render this and see what we get. Okay, let's compare some of our renders now. So this is my latest one. Let's compare it to the one that had the 3 lights before. So you can see we're starting to get more contrast. It looks like it's sunny out. Pretty cool. Okay, so I've shown you how to set up some simple lights, and you know, you're gonna have to play around with the spotlight positioning and the brightness, but you kind of get the idea of how to set up some simple lights. Now the next thing I want to show you is playing with the temperature. So the temperature is in Kelvin, and like I told you, it defaults at 6,500, which is kind of like, I guess, noon sunlight would be my estimation of it. So if we drop down in Kelvin to say around 2,000 Kelvin, I'm just going to go ahead and make it exact, and we'll type in 2,000. I'm going to do that with this spotlight that's facing our girl. And so it has a luminous flux of 400,000, and now it has a temperature of 2,000. Now this is going to make kind of a soft orange. So the further down we go in temperature, the more orange and red things are going to get, like sunsets, sunrises, that kind of thing. Kind of a soft glow. The higher up we go, the more kind of bluish purple. So let's first render at about 2,000 Kelvin, and we'll see what she looks like. Go back to my camera, same view, let's render. So you can see that as we work on this lighting, we can really make some dynamic pictures. So I hope you've enjoyed this short little video, and please comment, let me know what you think. I know I don't have a lot of followers and I don't have a lot of viewers, but I do enjoy making these videos, so please comment and let me know how you feel about my work, and if you have some ideas about some things that you'd like to see, drop me a line. I'll be happy to make a simple video about whatever you desire in Daz Studio. Alright, well, take care, and until next time, I'll see you later.